This is an article. You know, Kate Middleton is the future wife of the next British king. Am I right? Yeah. But it's a lookalike. So this was an article. How much money now this lookalike is earning being Kate. Is that an interesting story for everyone? This is a volunteers group in a German village looking after a cemetery of stillborn babies. Is that touching? Is that interesting news? So yes, you know, we have a lot of news that's both interesting for youngsters and maybe older ones. Look at this one. The first photo is of the lady 6 years ago. And the last photo is of the lady after using drugs. How she died. Is this powerful news? Do you need a whole long article with that? No. Does it really matter where the woman comes from? No. And do you have to right now and say to the youngsters, don't use drugs? Please don't. This is a photo competition. We ask readers to send in photos. Make a photo with the football in front of where it is not to be seen. So, I mean, that's not easy. That's not easy to do. So it became a craze in that town. And he won. This is my favorite. The next one is also a winner of a photo competition from South Africa. I love it. Does it need any text? Does it need... Come on, man. And this was produced by readers. And if the readers produce stupid photos, we don't put them in the newspaper. We might put them on the website. But we still, as a newspaper, decide this is good for us, this is not good for us. But this is a beauty, isn't it? One newspaper in Holland has they won the Young Reader Prize. They choose the coolest teacher. And they write about it in the newspaper. And the children have to run a campaign. Coolest teacher. This one I like. This is from Egypt. This is a very famous cartoonist. And it's about war and whatever. It's sponsored by Orange, the telephone company. The cartoon sponsored. And now what do? They run a cartoon competition. And how can you send the cartoon to the newspaper? How? By cell phone? No, by cell phone. So they have to send, and then the winner will be published. So this is a really partnership. It's not advertising. This is not advertising. Because that's the next problem I will touch tomorrow. We have too much advertising and nobody's reading ads. Okay. This is the last. This is a monument not far away from my home. This is a newspaper. This is your newspaper. Is this inviting? Is this attractive? Is this an attractive monument? Man, it's ugly, but it's inviting. It does not say anywhere, youth section. Please go to the top. Please, parents, stay there. It's all there. Everybody can use this monument to his or his own pleasure and use. And they all had a good time. Like I did. See some of you tomorrow. Thank you.
We have a few moments for questions, and while you're thinking, I have one for Gerard. The Orange Cartoon Competition, do you know of any other mobile phone connections with projects with young readers?
Well, I know of some, I don't know the country, I don't know the name. We have some telephone companies, they sponsor SMS competitions. Write an article of 65, or what's the maximum of a text message here?
150, 140.
Yeah, 140. So the competition is called 140. And they have to write about anything they want. It could be very serious, but it has to be 140 letters. You can all put them on the website. And who will decide what's the best article? Who?
Readers?
The readers. And even if you're smart, the readers can vote by sending an SMS again from your sponsor. But kids love to write an article of 140 characters. I wish some of the journalists would love that. But that's for tomorrow. 140 letters. Wow, we can't do that in India, can we? We can't do that.
Okay, we have a time for a couple of questions. This is your last real chance, Adam, before the workshop tomorrow. So any questions, comments? Anybody want to defend Indian soccer?
Cricket.
Cricket?
Yeah. It was cricket, I don't know.
Sorry. He does the sports stuff. I don't do the sports. Any questions, comments? Yeah. And could you tell us who you are?
Michelle Cousins from Arab News in Saudi Arabia. One of the things that this didn't really touch on was news stories that will interest the young, actual news, hardcore news. Young people are passionate about injustice in the world. They're passionate about helping when things go wrong. How do you feel that needs to be treated?
Well, the Egyptian tank was one example how to introduce the news about Egypt. Yes, kids are passionate about news, but you have to present it in the way they like. We know worldwide the word politics, the word economics is a stop word. Because they think politics is about plans of ministers, blah, 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 worldwide. So yes, they love news. My gosh, you know, what's happening in the Arab world, it's most of it instigated by youngsters. They will love that. They will love that. But I don't know if many people have written a 4-page story about the boy in Tunisia who burned himself. So yes, they love the news, but not about the plans of Obama and et cetera, et cetera. So you have to find a youth-specific way to tackle that news. Maybe starting with the price comparison and explain to the children why these prices always vary. That's the news. Because when something is happening in Libya, I mean in our part of the world, the price of petrol. And that's the coat hanger where you could start with. But you have to think of a really topic that makes them interested. I mean, yes, of course. Yeah. But the problem is, I agree, they only give you 1 second when they open the newspaper to see it is about injustice. You can't say to them, well, you have to redo the whole article and then we answer your questions. So, yes, if it's about injustice, so how can we make sure they know that in 1.2 seconds, this is about injustice that might interest me? Because the photo I showed you of this, no, not the tank, the guys looking after the cemetery for the stillborn babies, that was not an attractive photo. The subject is, but many kids don't read it because they were put off by this photo of these adults. Yes, so you every time you have to find something to make hooked straight away. That, of course, Of course. Oh, sorry.
I'm asking if the same brand of newspaper can cater to the older people as well as the youth. Like you said, people have started getting off Facebook because their parents are using Facebook. So would I be interested in reading the same newspaper that my parents have been reading for, let's say, 20 years?
Not necessarily. No, not necessarily. But your newspaper, as it is now, can cater for all audiences. I don't guarantee you, if you really do everything for the youth, that the youngsters will only buy your newspaper. But the chances, like Adeline said, they will buy a newspaper. But what we've seen in Sweden, this price comparison, many kids show that to the parents. But yes, the same brand can cater for all, but that does not mean the youngsters will automatically subscribe to your newspaper.